Hello, everyone. Welcome to Court with Krissy. We've got a bench trial in Judge McDreamy's courtroom. The defendant goes pro se all the way. Between the drifting and the drinking, it doesn't go very well. You're going to love it, and I hope you like it. Court with Krissy is now in session.
Nothing but the truth, so help you God, or the penalty of perjury.
Yes.
Have a seat. State your full name, spell your last name.
Christopher Dennis Haag, Haag.
And state your full home address.
May proceed.
Thank you. How long have you lived at that address?
For like 14 years? 15?
Okay. So you were living there back on July 23rd, 2024?
Yes, yes, sir.
And on that date, did you know a Brady Bell?
Yes, sir.
And how did you know Mr. Bell?
We met through a friend named Cameron
Okay.
Hutchins.
And at some point in time, did Brady Bell end up living at the address you just gave?
No, I mean, he would hang out a lot. He'd stay, every now and again, but mainly we'd just work late nights in the shop, so he'd end up staying. But he never lived there. So.
Did he ever leave a vehicle there?
Yeah, he left two there. Yes.
Two there?
Yes, sir.
What were they?
One was a tan F-150, and the other one was a white F-350, I
Okay.
think. Yeah.
And do you also know a Joseph Hill?
Yes, sir.
Is he in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
Point him out to the judge, if you would.
He's.
Gentleman at the other table,
Yes, sir.
if the record reflects he's identified Mr. Hill.
Yes, sir.
How did you come to know Mr. Hill?
Through Cameron Hutchins.
Okay. And did he ever live with you?
No, sir.
Did he ever come to your residence?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How often, do you know?
I mean, whenever we would all get together, he'd come out. So I mean, I wouldn't say very often, a few times here and there.
Was he there around July 23rd, 2024?
I don't know the exact date, sir, but
How about the date? Did you end up getting a Snapchat video?
yes, sir. Yes, he was there, sir.
You were there,
We both were, sir.
and Mr. Hill was there.
Yes, sir.
And what did you personally observe while you all were there?
The truck in the field was the only thing I visually observed.
Okay. And who was in that truck?
Joey Hill and Cameron Hutchins were.
Okay. And Joey Hill is Joseph Hill?
Yes, sir.
And what was the truck doing in the field?
I don't know the preferably name to call it, but drifting would be the right name to call it, sir. But
Drifting?
yeah, in the field, yes, sir.
What do you mean by that?
Swinging a truck sideways or a car sideways. That's,
Driving aggressively?
I guess so, yes, sir.
Do you know how you know who was driving it?
Joey Hill, sir.
Mr. Hill?
Yes, sir.
And how do you know he was driving it?
I was there, sir.
Okay, observed him doing that.
Yes.
Once he got done driving it, what else occurred?
After he was done driving it for a while, we just were hanging out, and then the video was posted, and Brady showed up. We all were a little upset because of the altercation, including words.
What do you mean altercation?
It was words. Altercation is what.
About what?
The truck, the video,
Okay.
and then after that, it was starting to get darker. So all I remember is there was, I think, Joey walking towards it in the front field, but that's, and then you can hear stuff, but that's.
Well, did he have anything with him when he walked to the field?
Either I don't know if there was a pipe or a bat or anything in it, or if I recall, could have been a pipe, but I'm not entirely sure.
He had some object in his hand.
Yes, I couldn't tell what it was, sir.
And did he walk to the truck that we're about to see in the video? Did he walk towards it?
And that truck, yes, was in the front field, sir.
Okay, so he walked to it. Anyone walk with him?
Not that I fully recall, sir.
Now, you didn't go to personally observe what happened in that field?
No, sir. The first time I seen the truck was when Brady Bell got there.
Okay. And did this incident occur before or after Brady Bell got there?
After, sir.
After. And what did you hear when Mr. Hill went towards the truck with the object in his hand?
Like loud banging, sir.
And he was the only one around?
There was a lot of people there, sir. But I mean, around the truck, I'm not entirely for sure. But we had quite a few people at my shop that night, sir.
Any of them with any metal pole, bat, or anything of that nature?
No, but at my shop, I have a lot of metalworking equipment.
We're talking about a truck in the field.
Yes, sir, but what I'm talking about is you asked me where the metal pipe came from.
Oh, no, I didn't, but go ahead.
I'm sorry, sir. In my understanding, I thought you meant like with everybody around there, if anybody had a metal pipe. I told you, yes, sir. That was stated in the beginning.
Okay, but who went towards the truck in the field with the metal pipe, bat, or whatever it was?
Joseph Hill, but
Oh.
I can't recall entirely what he was holding. There was an object, that's all I know.
I was holding a beer bottle.
Your Honor.
Please don't interrupt unless you have an objection to based on the rules of evidence.
And after he went to the truck, and I think you said he was the only one that went to the truck,
Yes, sir.
you started hearing the banging.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to play, is your screen on? I'm going to play a video.
Yes, sir.
What are we looking at here?
That's the truck in the field, sir.
Okay, and that's the one that ended up in the front field that you heard the banging coming from?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we gonna stay tripping for life, man. Yeah. I'm about to take your girl. Take it. Bounce it, bounce it, bounce it, bounce.
And who was driving that truck?
Joseph Hill, sir.
Was there anyone else in the truck with him?
Cameron Hutchins was in the passenger seat, sir.
Okay. And you were, do you know who posted that video?
It was on my Snapchat, sir, so I did.
Okay. And why did you post it?
I post a lot of stuff like that.
Understand.
Yes, sir.
Did you see the truck after the banging noise? It's still sitting in the front of the field?
Oh, when the sheriff showed up, yes, I went and looked at it.
Okay. And what did you see?
It was fairly dented in, surrounding the passenger side. Lights were broken.
Which lights? Headlights, taillights?
I mean, headlights, headlight, I'm not entirely sure. It was pretty dark when I got to look at it, so.
This is obviously dark, but I think we're looking at
A dented passenger side door.
passenger side door.
Yeah, and that would be the back door, and yeah, so that's the passenger side door.
And I apologize, Your Honor, I just got this, so I didn't have it downloaded. What are we looking at here?
That would be the back door connecting to the front passenger side door and start of the bed.
Bed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is a four-door pickup truck?
No, that is what you would call extended cab.
Extended cab, there's only one
One door.
door
Yes,
on each
but-
side?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
What are we looking at here?
That would be the bed, sir. The pretty
So-
much.
Go ahead.
Pretty much. I mean, they cut out a little bit of the front half of the bed, but that'd be the entire bed, sir.
Any damage that you can see to it?
On the back of it, sir. Yeah.
The dent on the
Towards-
wheel well?
No, it's towards the. Well, I guess it's a part of the wheel well. It's towards the tail light a little bit, but yes, sir.
And what are we looking here?
Tailgate, sir.
And what damage is shown on the tailgate?
Upper right, above or beside the latch.
Tailgate latch on the back?
Yes, sir.
And you indicate that these were what you observed after law enforcement arrived?
Yes, sir.
Photographs that I am showing you, are they true and accurate depictions of the damage that you also saw?
Yes, sir. This driver's side bed. It's kind of hard to tell in that picture, sir. But yes, to answer your question, yes.
Okay. Where was some other damage that we haven't looked at?
If I can recall correctly, I think so, sir. Yeah,
It's been a while.
it has.
What is depicted here?
That would be the gas cap, sir. And if I can see correctly, that would be missing, sir.
Gas cap's missing.
Well, the gas cap cover.
Cover,
I guess
the
what
the
you
lid,
just-
sort of.
Yeah.
Okay. And let me just pick probably one more. And what's this show?
I don't exactly know what that's showing. That's the inside of the truck, but I don't see any.
On the driver's side? Taken from the driver's side, true.
I can't see any damage that was there.
Going back to the video, was there any of this damage on the vehicle at that time?
In the video, no. I mean, not that you can see, no. I mean, there wasn't any, so.
Okay. How long had this truck been at your residence? If you know approximately.
I feel like I can't really give you an answer because I don't want to give you too long or too short because I don't know for sure, sir, but it was there probably for a month maybe.
Okay. More than a day.
Yeah, it was more than a day.
Had
sir.
you seen the truck prior to, say, July 23rd of this year? Had you seen it on your property?
I mean, he was driving, so yeah, I've seen it plenty of times,
Okay.
sir. Yes.
In any of that damage that we've already looked at and you've described, did that appear anywhere on there before the defendant approached the vehicle in the field?
No, sir. No.
Okay. Nothing further.
Mr. Hill, you have any questions for the witness?
No.
Okay, you may step down.
Brady Bell?
Brady Bell.
Uh-huh. I'd like for him to stick around for just a second. So he can go back. Yeah.
You see some steps up off to your left, up those steps. Remain standing and raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give in this case now being the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, self to God, or under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Have a seat. State your full name, spell your last name.
Brady B-L-L, or Brady Bell B-E-L-L.
And state your full home address.
Thank you. Sir, do you know a Christopher Haig?
Yeah.
Is he the gentleman that you just probably crossed paths with? No, just a minute ago.
Yeah.
Was he leaving the courtroom when you were coming in?
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you known him?
Probably about 6 months, 4 to 6 months.
And are you familiar with where he resides?
Yeah.
And did you ever leave a truck there?
Yeah, I left the truck there.
What kind of truck did you leave there?
2004 Brown F-150 single cab.
And the address he lives at, is that in Licking County, Ohio?
I believe so, yeah.
And do you also know a Joseph Hill?
Yeah.
Is he in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Point him out to the judge if you would. Gentleman at the other table?
Yes.
Okay, you're gonna have to keep your voice up. We are recording this, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you know him?
Just through mutual friends.
The pickup truck that we're talking about, why was it left at the National Road address?
I was in between vehicles. I bought my new truck, and I work a job that requires 12-hour shifts. I didn't have time to go pick up the truck. I had asked Chris Haig to go pick up the truck from the dealership for me, which he did, and I just never had. And I left the key in it so that he could move it around, keep it out of his way, and that was why it was at his house.
Okay. Who actually owned that truck?
My dad,
And what's your dad's name?
Mark Bell.
And did you give either Christopher Haig or anybody really at that residence permission to drive that truck?
Yes,
You did? Who?
Chris Haig.
Okay. Anybody else?
I didn't give anybody else permission. I didn't say anything if anybody else drove it.
Okay. And with respect to Mr. Hill, did he ever express interest in buying that truck?
Yes.
And tell us about that.
My dad had talked about selling the truck. Joey Hill had mentioned he wanted to buy it. I told Joey Hill the price, and that was just that.
Okay. Did the deal go through?
No.
And was there any argument over that truck
No.
up until July 23rd? On July 23rd, what happened?
July 23rd. I looked on Snapchat and I saw a video of them ripping it through a field, and I had said on Snapchat, "Are you joking? Nobody's paid for that truck yet." And that's what started this whole thing.
Title was still in your dad's name?
Yeah.
So when you saw that, did you go to Mr. Haig's residence?
I tried to talk to Chris Haig. I talked to his mom, just told him what happened, and then I had left, went back and before I went over and talked to them, I told my dad showed him the video. I said, we need to get the truck now. And then I was waiting on my dad to get to Somerset, so I just was like, I'm gonna go over and talk to Chris, see if I can kind of smooth things out. That didn't go so well. I went back and was waiting on my dad, and by the time we got up there, which was around 9, 10-ish at night, I believe, we had saw the truck like that.
Well, I didn't catch the last part.
We had saw the truck like that.
Okay. And did you talk to Mr. Hill about this?
About the
The truck, the condition of the truck, driving the truck, anything of that nature?
no,
Were there any harsh words or anything between you and Mr. Hill?
yeah.
And what was that about?
Just they were telling when I tried to talk to Chris Hill or Chris Haig, they told me I needed to leave, and I said I will get my shit out today. And then that's when I left and tried to come back and get the truck.
And when you came back and got the truck, you weren't there when the truck was being driven in the field?
No.
What did you discover about the truck when you arrived?
When we got there the first time, they had started saying we need to leave before we even got there, or before we even got out of our truck. And I said, no, I'm gonna get our stuff.
Who told you to leave?
Joey Hill and Chris Haig.
And you got the truck that day?
We went up to go get the truck. I didn't see it first. My dad did. He got out of the truck and he said, "Is the key in it?" And they all said, "Yeah." My dad walked over to the truck and he said, "What the F?" And then I obviously walked over and saw the truck in that condition.
In what condition are you talking about?
Fenders beat in, doors beat in, the bed beat in, and the front right side tire was off the beat.
So how did you get the vehicle? Did you get the vehicle that day?
No, I waited a couple of days
And why did you wait a couple of days?
because it wasn't drivable. I didn't have a spare tire to throw on the truck.
Is your video screen on?
Yeah.
Flipping right out here. Get fucked up. Right now,
Whose truck are we looking at?
My dad's.
And that's the pickup truck we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Did you give anyone permission other than Mr. Haig
No.
to do that in the field, to drive it?
yeah, you gonna stay tripping for life, man. Yeah. I'm about to take your girl.
When that truck went past, did you see any damage on it at that point?
No.
Ultimately, you did remove the truck, however, from the National
Yes.
Road address.
Yes.
You recall how many days afterwards?
About a week, I think.
Okay. Nothing further.
Mr. Riley, have any questions for the witness? May I step down?
Mark Bell.
Flipping right out here. Get fucked up.
You follow me up here? Come on up here. You see some steps off to your left, go up those steps, remain standing, and raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you should give in this case now being heard to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Have a seat, state your full name, spell your last name,
Mark Bell, Bell.
and state your full home address, please.
43783.
Thank you.
May I proceed?
Do you have a son by the name of Brady?
Yes.
See the gentleman that you kind of cross paths with? Right here.
I'm having a little trouble.
I'm sorry. You do have a son by the name of Brady?
Yeah.
And see the gentleman that just passed you as you're coming in, he's leaving?
Yeah.
I want to call your attention July 23rd, 2024. Did you own any pickup trucks?
Yes.
What pickup trucks did you own?
I own currently 4.
Well, I'm talking about July 23rd, 2024.
I have the 2005 Ford F-150, golden color, tannish golden color. I have that one, and I have a few others, but I'm
Did
not.
you have a vehicle that was damaged?
Yes,
What truck is it?
that is the vehicle I just described, the 2005.
Is your screen on?
Yes.
Yeah, you gonna stay tripping for life, man. Yeah. I'm about to take you to get up.
That's the truck you had just described.
Yes.
You were the owner of that vehicle.
Yes.
And did you give anyone permission? Well, strike that. Do you know a Joseph Hill?
Not until after this incident, no.
Did you ever give him permission to drive that truck?
No.
Did you ever give anybody permission to drive it in the fashion that we just saw?
Absolutely not. The only person I had given permission to was my son, and that was to, because he was between vehicles, and Chris had led him to Stewart Auto Group, and Brady had gotten a different job, a better paying job, so he wanted to get another truck, so they went up to Stewart and got another truck. Brady did, and left my truck, and Chris went with him and left it sitting on Chris's property. I told Brady I need my truck back, but it didn't get back to me until after this.
Okay. And the Chris you're referring to, is that a gentleman by the name of Christopher Haig?
Yes.
And when you arrived on July 23rd to pick up your vehicle, what condition was it in?
Damaged.
And what do you mean by damaged?
Doors were smashed in. One door's, I mean, it's caved in. The hood all was bent in. Headlights busted. The bed was dented up. I mean, bumpers, hood, grill. I mean, it was just, and they had been running it for a while because they had newer tires on it, and the right passenger side tire or the front passenger side tire was just all balled up. So they had been just thrashing on that. The only way that I even knew what was going on was I was in Menards, and Brady called me and said, "Dad, there's a Snapchat video of them drifting it in a field." Okay. All right. I said, "I'll meet you in Somerset in an hour and we'll go up." Well, I was with the contractor, and so I was with the contractor for a couple of hours after I got to Somerset. So it was about 9 o'clock when we finally left to go retrieve the vehicle, and didn't think anything about it, just going to go get my truck. And when I got there, there was just like total chaos and screaming and yelling. I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Who was doing the screaming and yelling?
I don't know. There was him and Chris and
Him, you just pointed to.
Yeah.
You're talking about Mr. Hill.
Yeah, and there's 2 or 3 other guys there and some girls, and I think that there was some alcohol involved, but that's an assumption. Okay, I'll just say that. But I'm like, where's my truck at? And I got some obscenities screamed at me, and
Who screamed at you, the obscenities?
I can't tell you. There was just chaos.
Okay.
And I said, "Are my keys in my truck?" More obscenities screamed at me. And finally I got from him that the keys were in the truck. And so I'm not familiar with the property, so I just went in the vicinity where they told me. And I walked around, and here it was over against the fence row. It was dark, and I'm like, that's not my truck. Same color, but that's not my truck. And the closer I got, that was my truck. And I was belligerent. I'm not going to lie about it. I was very upset. And I came around there and I said, who did this to my truck? And he came up and got in my face and said, what are you going to do about it? And that's when
He meaning Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Okay. So then what happened?
I-
Ignore him, but
Okay.
talk to me. Then what happened?
I just got on the phone and dialed 911 because I've got I'm thinking 4 to 5 20-year-old kids that are being belligerent. I'm 54 years old. I don't have time to deal with this. And I'm not going to kick their butts, not 5 of them. And so that's where it ended up.
Okay. Were you able to get the truck off the property that day?
Not that night because of the flat tire. I think it was the next day or a day or so after. It was a short period of time after.
Okay.
But
Which
we
tire
had-
was flat?
Pardon?
Which tire was flat?
The front passenger.
Silly question, but did you give anyone permission to do any damage to your vehicle?
Absolutely not.
Is there a photograph up on your screen?
Yeah.
What are we looking at here?
That is the front driver's side of the vehicle.
Okay, and is there any damage shown there?
I can see that the bumper is skewed, is twisted and bent, and that was what one of the estimators had pointed out when I got the estimates done as per someone that called me from the courthouse.
Okay. Nothing further.
Mr. Hill, any questions for the witness?
Yes. Do you have any visual proof, any like multiple witnesses stating that I got in your face? Because I can clearly remember when you and Mr. Bell, your son, Brady Bell, pulled into the parking lot, I was sitting down.
Your Honor, is there
In
a
the
question in this?
Can you get the form of the question?
Yes. I'm trying to get to the fact I was sitting down when they
Okay.
pulled in and I was not in his face. So I'm asking
Well,
if
he
there's any
stated that.
witnesses
You
stating
can
that
ask
I
him a
got in his
question
face.
about it if you like.
Is there any witnesses stating, proving that I got in your face?
There was 3 or 4 other people there. I don't know. There was my son there that I know of, and there was Chris there that I know of, and there was a couple other guys. All I know is when I got on dialed 911, you all scattered like roaches.
Because I was very intoxicated. That's why I left that situation.
So
but-
you do admit that you had been drinking.
Yeah, because I'm 21. I'm
Okay,
busting
I don't know where this question's at, but it's not a question.
Do you have any questions for the witness, Mr. Hill?
Do you have proof that I was in your face at all?
Objection, asked and answered.
Do you have any other questions, Mr. Hill?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
Mr. King,
Nothing further, Your Honor.
you may step down.
We call Deputy Green.
Come on out this way, go around that way, and go out that door, okay? This way. Hey, standing, raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you should give in this case now being heard should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God or under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Have a seat. State your full name, spell your last name,
Deputy Jessica Green, Green,
and state your business address, please.
155 East Main Street,
Thank you.
North Ohio.
May proceed.
Thank you. You're employed by the Licking County Sheriff's Office.
Yes,
Were you so employed back on July 23rd, 2024?
yes,
And do you have occasion to investigate a damage report?
yes.
Did you actually ever go out to the National Road Southeast address of Mr. Haig?
Yes, I did.
And where is that located at?
Bowling Green Township?
Licking County, Ohio?
Yes.
And when you went out there, what did you see and what did your investigation consist of?
When I first arrived on scene, I seen Mark Bell and his son Brady Bell, and then they explained the incident to me and what had happened. They took me over to see the truck, and at that point I walked over. It was up near the road. There's like a fence line there, and I seen a gold F-150 that had extensive damage to it. Then at that point, I also seen a video, a Snapchat video.
Is that the one that's been playing in
Yeah.
here today? Go ahead.
Yes, of an individual in the vehicle who they told me was Joseph Bell, who was sitting there.
You mean Hill?
Yeah, sorry, Hill, Joseph Hill. They stated that he was driving the truck doing the donuts. And,
Okay. So then what did you do?
I began to get statements from them of the incident. They told me that, basically that Joseph had threatened them and did damage to the vehicle. There was also 2 other deputies with me on scene, and they went down and actually spoke with Chris Haig and obtained a statement from him. He stated he witnessed Joseph Hill take a metal pipe, or like he said, some type of object towards the truck.
And
I'll strike that last answer from the record.
you took a statement from Mr. Haig,
Um,
or somebody did?
yes, it would have been either Deputy Caldwell
Okay.
or the other.
And did you ever make contact with Joseph Hill?
Yes, by phone.
Okay, and what happened on the phone conversation?
When I initially called him and advised him who I was, he kind of said some choice words and hung up on me. I then called him back. At that time, he was a little more calmer. He stated he was busy working on something in his garage. So I asked him about the incident, whether he was to purchase a vehicle from Mr. Bell. He said he had talked about it, that he was going to purchase a vehicle, obviously, but no money had been transferred or anything like that. It was just he had said he'd wanted to buy it. I asked him if he'd done the donuts in the field with it. He admitted yes, he was driving and doing donuts. I then asked him if he did any damage to the vehicle, and he told me no, he did not do any damage at all to the vehicle.
Okay. And did you ever make physical contact with Mr. Hill?
No.
I have nothing further.
Mr. Hill, you have any questions for the deputy?
Sorry, what is it, Your Honor?
Do you have any questions for the deputy?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
You may step down. Call your next witness.
Your Honor, I don't have any further witnesses. Do have what I'm marking for identification purposes as Plaintiff's Exhibit 1. There are a number of things on the flash drive. I'm only offering what the court has seen, which are the photographs as well as the video.
Yep. Mr. Hill, any objection to the photographs or the video?
The bumper was not touched. I know that for a fact.
Okay. Do you have any objection to the photograph of the bumper?
Not that it was like that when we got it.
Okay.
It was like that when I got to the property.
I'll admit, would you say 1 and 2? Or?
Just one.
Just
It's got a bunch of things on
Okay.
the flash drive, but I'm only offering the video and the photos.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. King?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Hill, you have any evidence today?
I don't have no evidence.
Would you like to testify? Any witnesses?
Do I have to testify to witnesses? No, Your Honor.
No
I
witnesses.
just want this whole thing
Okay.
to be over so I can go back to work in my normal schedule.
All right. You want to testify today?
Do I want to
Yeah.
testify? Does that like get my side of the statement?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to get my side of the story.
Okay. Please take a stand.
Yes, sir.
Right up there to the witness stand. You'll see some steps up to your left, up those steps. Remain standing and raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm testimony you should give in this case now being heard to be true? The whole truth and nothing but the truth, so you got her under penalty of perjury.
Yes, sir. It's got
Track me
down.
State your full name, spell your last name.
My name is Joseph Lee Hill, Hill. My address is 6.
Thank you.
You want to tell me what happened, Mr. Hill?
Yes, Your Honor. So, July 23rd is the incident, correct? Was why we're here, July 23rd. So, that day, we'll call him Cameron. He's been brought up a couple times in this conversation from Mr. Hag and Mr. Bell, both Mr. Bells, from being mutual friends with me. Cameron just got back from vacation. He was wanting to hang out with me. I told him I was hanging out with Mr. Chris Hag. And he said, okay, that's fine. I'll just come where you guys are. That's fine. We got to drinking after he was there for a while. We were drinking, sitting in the barn or the shed or the shop, whatever you would like to call it. We were sitting there drinking, having a good time. But both Mr. Bells did come. Well, Brady Bell came first. He came right after he saw the video. And of course, by this point, I have already been drinking. I was not drinking when I drifted the truck. I was not anywhere near the alcohol when I got behind the wheel of a motor vehicle. I was sitting down in the shop drinking because we had salted caramel whiskey from Tennessee Moonshine. We were drinking that and having a good time. Well, Brady comes in, throws rocks all over our cars, throws dust everywhere. I brushed it off my shoulder because Chris lives on a gravel driveway. No big deal. Just think it's another day. Well, he gets out slamming his door, yelling at us. What are you guys thinking? What are you guys doing? Nobody's paid for the truck. I said, Brady, calm down a minute. Let's take this down. We're all adults here. We can talk like civil people. I said, I know none of us nobody's paid that money yet. I told you I would save it up in 3 weeks and give you a down payment in 4.5 weeks. I told him, he said, okay, that's fine. Well, he goes down to Mr. Chris's camper for something. I don't know what he went. He went down that way for something, was down there for about 30, 40 minutes, came back up, and then locks up his brakes right where we're standing, probably from no closer than me or the judge, locks up his brakes, and then gets out, opens his door, and then is yelling at us again, and then he just gets back in his car and back in his truck and speeds off. As the night continues, I'm continuing to drink because me and Cameron are old enough. We're the only two old enough out there to drink. So me and him are the ones drinking. Everybody else is building a fire, having a good time, just like a normal camper, like a July night. And that's when Brady and his dad showed up. And then that's when I realized I got up out of my seat, looked at him, because Chris said they need to go. I said, okay. I didn't say nothing. He told him to leave. Then I told him to leave. And then I got in Cameron's vehicle and he drove me home because I was too intoxicated to drive and or walk to get into somebody's face. That's it, Your Honor.
Mr. King?
Recall getting a phone call from the deputy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Recall hanging up on her?
Yes, because it came up as an unblocked number and I had grease on my hand, so I just thought it was somebody trying to play a prank on me.
Okay, so you hung up on her, but she called back.
Yes, sir.
You know Christopher Haig?
Yes, sir. Me and him.
How long, just answer my questions, how long have you known him?
I've known him since 2019.
Consider him a friend?
He's my brother.
And it was you driving the truck in the field?
Yep.
You think driving that way could potentially cause trouble to a vehicle?
It can, yes. If you don't know what you're doing, yes.
But you know what you're doing?
Yes, sir. I've grew up on a dirt track my whole life.
Nothing further.
You may step down.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything else today, Mr. Hill?
Sorry, Your Honor.
Anything else today?
No, sir.
Okay, Mr. King?
No rebuttal, Your Honor.
Like say anything in closing?
Well, Christopher Haig, the brother of the defendant, would have to have come in here and lied through his teeth. What he did tell you under oath was that the individual driving that truck, that the defendant also admits can cause damage to a truck, was there, that the defendant, nobody else, took an object, whatever it may have been, walked to that truck. He did not see it, but he certainly heard the banging. what did that truck look like when the owner and officers and Brady showed up? Extensive damage to the truck. We believe that the defendant is guilty, guilty as charged. Thank you.
Mr. Shirley, you want to say anything in closing?
I never damaged that truck at all. Like I said, I was too intoxicated to walk. How can I damage a vehicle if I've already killed a whole bottle of whiskey to myself? It was a little bit bigger than a fifth, and probably half a 24 pack of Red Apple Ale before I finally called it quits.
Okay, based on the evidence presented today, I find Mr. Hill guilty of criminal damaging. Just because they'd have a recommendation today.
Well, in addition to drinking, I think it's obvious, at least to me, that he has an anger issue. We would certainly suggest, he doesn't have much of a record, but anger management. He destroyed that truck, either by driving it in the field or whatever happened. And again, I think it's a strong circumstantial case of Mr. Haig. The only person that walked to that truck with an object in his hand was the defendant. And basically, the damage that he did totaled the vehicle. The vehicle had a blue book value. If I can find it. But the value is, the repairs are exceeded. I can't find the amount. One estimate's $19,000. The other estimate is $13,000. Other than that, I don't know if anybody wants to speak or not. The owner of the vehicle. What was the blue book value? I don't see.
It's on the second page here. Anywhere between 3622 to 6625. That's on KBB.
It's up there.
That's a private sale.
Okay. You asking for restitution?
Yes, Your Honor.
Of how much?
In all honesty, if it were a civil case, you're not about to award $19,000 or the other lower figure on a vehicle that's worth $36.22 to $66.25. I know they would like to have the full amount, but realistically, probably somewhere in between those two. And did you want to say anything?
I mean, I thought that having a meeting at 5 was sufficient.
And I do have the documents if you wanted to see them.
Sentencing recommendation?
I would like to see him, what he did was immature, whether he was drinking at the time of at least the driving or not. I think he's got an anger issue because they were coming to get the truck. I think he deserves something more than anger management. Would like to see him supervised, would like to see restitution. I would suggest somewhere in the neighborhood of 10, with his record or lack thereof, 10 to 14 days. Thank you.
No probation? Is that what you're saying?
10
to
probation.
14 days. Okay.
Yeah, the actual jail time, I'm sorry.
Okay.
As far as suspended time, I would suggest 60 days.
Okay.
with some parts suspended, and obviously, part of the probation would be the anger management.
Okay. Mr. Hill, you have any objection to that valuation?
Yeah. I work in Pataskala, so I mean, I wouldn't mind being on probation or even wearing an ankle monitor, but I would rather stay out of jail because I work Monday through Friday.
Okay, well, let's just start with the value of the vehicle. Do you have an objection to that range? Somewhere in there?
I will pay for the doors, the headlights, and the bumper.
Okay.
I have no problem paying for that damage. For both the driver doors, or not the driver door.
They're not asking for you to pay for damages because the damages are more extensive than the vehicle's worth. So I'd be awarding an
Did
amount.
they total it up because the frame was broke? Because the frame was already broke when I got it.
Okay. The prosecutor says that the amount to fix the damage there was more than the vehicle was worth, and I imagine it would cost more than $4,000 or $5,000 to fix those things.
Yeah, this is $19,506.
That's the estimate.
That's
What does
the
that
high
include?
estimate.
What does that include?
I'd rather just hand it to the court. It
Okay.
includes a lot of things.
Okay.
The other one, however, in fairness, is cheaper. It's $13,399.
Yeah, no, it appeared to me there's more damage than anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000.
Oh, yeah, there is. I mean, even if you took the little one, the smaller amount. Because the private party, if they were to have sold it privately,
Yeah,
would have been $5,100.
$6,000 in labor
That's the top
for body
top
and
range.
paint, just for the labor.
Yeah, which exceeds.
Can I just buy the truck?
All right. So, okay, what was it? 3,300 something to 666 in there. Do you have that? Can I see that?
Yeah.
As well?
It's got the range up here I
Yeah.
couldn't find, but
Okay.
it also has kind of the average
Does it
to a
have the-
private.
Does it have vehicle information on it?
It has at least some of it, like mileage.
190,000 miles.
Yes.
Actually, what it is, I typed in the VIN number of the vehicle.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Okay, 3,600 to 6,600. Mr. Hill, did you want to look at that? Or?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. What kind of value would you have an objection to?
I would pay $4,000 for the whole truck, as it said. I'll pay for the truck. I'll pay for it, buy it, and keep it as my own. If this will resolve everything, I will buy it for $4,000 or $4,500.
Okay.
Even if they want $5,000 for it, I will save up the money and buy the truck. If it can just allow this whole thing to everybody just go their separate ways, allow me to go to work every day, continue to see my residents, because I work in a nursing home.
Okay, I don't know what's going to happen with the truck. That'd be fine with me, but I'm not going to order that. I'm going to order a number that the truck is worth. If they want to give you the truck for that amount, that's a
Well,
separate
I
thing.
was gonna say, is there a way like we could kind of come to agreement, all of us, like to kind of come to agreement?
I'm not involved in that. My job is to order restitution. That's the range there that the victim asked for 5,000. So that's the range I'm going to pick a number from. It didn't seem unreasonable that the vehicle was worth that in that range somewhere, right? Is it? Okay. You
It's a
disagree with
fair
that? Okay. All
If
right.
it's $5,000, I'll pay the $5,000.
Okay. Okay. You want to say something about sentencing, Mr. Hill?
No.
You live in Pataskala?
No, I live with my grandparents in Nashport, Ohio.
Nashport. Okay.
Yeah, I work.
You
in
work.
Pataskala.
Okay. Where are you working?
I work at Tuscany Gardens.
Okay.
I think it's 7400 Hazel something road.
So what's that? Is it,
The road name.
what's
City.
the no? Where you work? What's the place you work?
Oh, Tuscany Gardens. It's a nursing home.
The nursing home.
I'm a dietary aide.
Okay. All right. You live in Nashport.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to say today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I will, post court costs. I'll order $5,000 restitution to Mark Bell. I'll sentence you to 14 days of jail. And I'm not gonna supervise you, that'll be it, 14 days and then you're done. Any question about that, Mr. Hill?
Do I have to serve it?
Yep.
What am I gonna do about my job, Your Honor?
Make arrangements. I'll give you a report date if you want a report date.
I'd like to report here.
To jail.
Yeah, that's fine, I guess.
Anything else, Mr. King?
No, Your Honor.
Any questions about that, Mr. Hill?
If I go to jail, do I still have to pay for the truck?
You have to pay restitution, yeah,
Which is,
$5,000.
do I get the truck?
That's up to Mr. Bell.
If I pay for it, I'd like to have the truck.
You're paying for the restitution damages. Whether Mr. Bell wants to give you the truck for $5,000, that's up to him.
Okay, Your Honor.
All right.
Yes, sir. May I go now?
Yeah, you need to come with me.
Did, I got to go, did Dunlap show up?
No, Dunlap didn't show up.
Okay.
Krissy, right now, you come up and have a seat.
Thank you.
Sorry I didn't get that to you quicker.
Yeah. You too.